Hello guys. So, we got a treat for you today. More revelations. That the ancient and the first mythologies and creation stories are the correct ones, rather than the modern cosmology bogus. The cosmic cow seemed to be prominent throughout the different creation stories throughout the world. So if you've been following this channel, or maybe Roger Spur's Mud Fossil University, then you may already know that everything is essentially petrified biology. And what I teach on this channel is that you can identify any petrified biology very simple, just by looking at it, or maybe use the mirror tool to look for impressions. I'm not talking pareidolia, I'm talking blatant and accurate impressions, repeatedly appearing throughout a pattern, as I have shown in other videos. And that's what I did. I just came over this interesting picture of a supposed nebula that I have not seen before. And I used the mirror tool, of course, just like I did with the local landscape, and identified some dragons and discovered these clear dragon impressions and these clear impressions of a man as well, and multiple impressions, of course, of a man in different places of this island and of this local landscape. Yeah, you maybe know the drill. We've done this before, so you may know how this works. This method has also helped me locate and identify individual petrified bodies. And this impression of an Archon, who I think was Odin. I made a video about that, so check that out too. And of course the impressions I made of the first primordial giant, or the supposed first one. Who knows what's beyond that? There could be history beyond him of this reality that we don't know of. Yeah, you can argue that's pareidolia, but I have demonstrated, I have shown little rocks have the exact same impressions as other places in the landscape, in the mountains. And we know that it is petrified biology, so that's not coincidence. People talk about DNA spiraling into fractals and stuff like that. Now there is some truth to that, and I think this is demonstrating that. Fractal impressions in DNA. If you are so blessed to have your eyes opened by Mud Fossil University, for instance. Okay, so not enough talking. So here is the impression I made from this image. Do you see that? That's the cosmic cow right there. That's the biology of the cosmic cow, straight out of Norse mythology. Take note of how detailed and accurate this impression is. Notice the lips, the nose, the eyes, placed in the perfect alignment of the impression of a cow. How about that? You know, they call it the Milky Way for a reason. And there is even stuff in astronomy that they have named the cosmic cow, probably part of this cow's biology. You know, you can't make this stuff even if you tried. It is written down in the first and oldest creation stories that exist in this world. And it just so happened to be an impression of a cow hiding amongst these patterns in these supposed nebulas. Wow, can you believe that? That's Auðumbla right there. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name, that was probably wrong. Meanwhile, people believe this hogwash of NASA, of flying magic of space balls in space, floating in zero gravity type stuff. And you got these groups, galactic light workers type groups, posting a whole lot of AI generated hogwash. Speaking of mirrors that reflects truth or some type of hocus pocus like that, you know. You have not really seen mirrors reflecting truth until you've seen this, my friend. That's what I call mirrors showing truth. And they use AI for clicks and likes and comments just to serve their narcissism, not really saying anything that holds any power. The AI is only spreading nonsensical propaganda, yeah? Yeah, and by the way, that thing has the number of the beast right there. Easy to see. But people will deny that even. Their narcissism won't allow themselves to realize they are wrong. The AI is spreading propaganda, man. It is not a tool for a common citizen. It's a tool for technocrats to manipulate people who engage in it, if you ask me. You know, it's pretty obvious. You know what Elon Musk said? Yeah, I got this screenshot here, that's what he said. You can search that and find it easily. And he probably knows better than you who try to defend it. And this also seemed to be in alignment with a segment from the Bible, where it says that the beast was given a voice to speak arrogance and blasphemous nonsense. You know, that's what's happening right now. It speaks blasphemous gibberish, and it's super cringe. You know, I cringe almost every time I see that quacko wacko buffoonery and marshy brain goop, man. That's what I see most of the time when I see AI generated text, especially if it's esoteric, you know, or trying to be esoteric. Yeah, it's more like demonic, psychotic, and it's probably even gonna cause schizophrenia or something. Yeah, I've seen them people, they think they're becoming a god, you know. The AI is giving them like cool nickname, like a spirit name, kind of like my screen name. Yeah, I think one called himself River Walker, another one called himself Flame Holder, and all this hogwash, you know, pure nonsensical gibberish. And all they do is like speaking highly of themselves, claiming they're here to open our eyes and be light workers and this and that. Yet there's zero wisdom in anything they say. It's nothing but delusion of grandeur. You think AI gonna turn you into a god? No, it's gonna turn your brain into a smoothie. And it's pretty obvious in my understanding of what's going on here. So don't be deceived. You gotta read between the lines. You gotta pay attention. People think vigilance is rooted in fear. But you know, look at what happened to people who doesn't think critically. The brains turn to a smoothie. And that's what's gonna happen if you merge your brain with AI. AI, abdominal intelligence. Yeah, so I confronted some of these people who is spamming AI generated nonsense, saying it is as it is, and guess what happened? They blocked me. At least 5 of them blocked me. You know, it's not up to us what reality is and what's going on the outside of us. It's not up to us. We can't decide that. What is happening is what is happening. So naturally, one who denies that cannot win over a person who acknowledges it. So they don't want to face the truth and they end up blocking you. Oh, I think that is hilarious. And you should have seen the cope. I might have some screenshot of that. They used AI to defend their AI. That's kind of like using poop to polish feces. No, it doesn't work like that. You gotta use your organic brain. Speaking and writing for yourself will keep your brain sharp. Making AI think and write for you, that's gonna dumb you down. And we are seeing it happening already. Now, I'm only trying to help. You know, I am polite for the most part, but I'm kind of bold against the AI, the use of AI. It's not my problem that people take it personally. They should they should learn to not take that personally. They're just this pagan shit and new age. It's all nonsense, you know. Christians, I have better sense for Christians, you know. They are humble and vigilant and have a lot more wisdom than pagans, if you ask me, in general. So yeah, I think that is enough for this video. So if you like this content, click a like, you know, click the button, write a comment, and join in on the real light work. And I will see you in the next one.